Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. So today we are doing the update on the Frozen Source. We are now on Act 2, so I will link the video down below for Act 1. Basically, I was giving you guys all the skills, all the gear, and all the passive node I was using. I will do the same for Act 2. The difference with Act 1 and Act 2, I would say Act 2 is the continuous of Act 1, so there's nothing much more happening in terms of skills. You only get access to the better skill on Act 3, so it's just a little tips and tricks on going around the map, but also killing the Act 2 boss, because I think he's a little tricky at the beginning whenever you don't know what to do. So mainly this video is about how to kill the boss, and mostly what skill you're going to use, which are kind of primarily the same as Act 1, and really to focus on gear. Alright, so for the gear, I was still rocking the stuff that I found in Act 1, but eventually what you're looking for in Act 2, which I've seen in the shop or dropped often, were either wands or staff that have +1 to 3 to all skills for spell skills or specific like cold, freeze, or fire damage. So it is definitely possible to find on Act 2. You just have to look around whenever there's like any magic staff that drop. Just look in case, because often they do have those modifier on. So I was still rocking this. It helped me out through the whole campaign, honestly, and then I switched around the end. So after that, for my helm, I found something with increased energy shield, max mana, and intelligence. Honestly, anything you can find with maximum energy shield, max mana, max life, and especially lightning res for the Act 2 boss is really gonna help you. But any res is always really good. For the necklace, I had a 36 max life, 20% increased evasion rating, 8 increased rarity item found, 16% increased cast speed, which is really important. There's not a lot of item that drop cast speed, so whenever you have one, you should probably swap it on for sure. So for the ring, you have 28 fire res, 22 max mana, and gain 4 life per enemy kill. It's always good to have extra fire res, especially for the trials. I will put a video out also for the trials, but you'll see you'll definitely need the extra res. Now for this armor, it's 85 on energy shield, which is really good. I did slap 2 socket on it to increase my lightning res, because I know the Act 2 boss is using lightning, so I would suggest you guys to stack on fire and lightning more for Act 2. So I have 24 light res, 25 max energy, and 11% increased energy shield, so that was really huge. 41 max life, 14 cold res, and 12 lightning res. The res were kind of low on that armor, but I didn't find anything better till then. So definitely, if you're struggling with your res, just slap some socket on it. I do have a video on how to have socket, so you can go check that out. It will be linked down below. Then for the ring, 30 cold res, 92 accuracy, and another 12 lighting res, so a double res on the ring, so that's really good. Usually those ring, they only roll like often like at that stage, like only one type of res, and I was like, oh my god, there's like 2 res on one ring, so I definitely slap on because we needed the lightning res for later on. Now these gloves, obviously they're really low level, they're like level 16, so if you want to trade for those, I'm pretty sure it's really obtainable. I ended up finding this one again on my ranger run. I kept it in my stash because I knew I wanted to do another sorceress run. Often whenever you do other runs with other character, you'll find other things that you keep for other class, so I would suggest you guys to do that. So I found that pair of glove actually, and this was in Act 2. Whenever I found this, I was with my friend, and we found that at end of Act 2 right before the boss. So this item is attainable 100% in Act 2. You just gotta get the RNG for it. So it's 100 increased spell damage, 22% reduced cast speed. For sure there's the downside of that, but at the end of the day, because I have more cast speed and I'm gonna get some passive node later on the cast speed, for me it's not a big trade. It's not that bad. And 12 to intelligence, which is really good. I ended up later putting a socket also on that. And I wanted to see later on, like, whenever you're in low level, like 50 damage, 100 damage doesn't seem a lot, but when I finished Act 2 Cruel and I was still rocking this pair of glove, I was like, oh my god, like if I remove this pair to find another better pair, it was removing about 500 to 1,000 damage on some of my skills. So honestly, later on, this gets really good and really helpful to plow through the campaign really fast. So if you can get this, honestly, a game changer. For the belt, I didn't find anything. I did try to gamble some. They gave me some like plus armor, plus like other things I really didn't need. So I was looking for either res or like max life, max mana. So I ended up having this 75 plus max mana, which is always helpful because we are using a lot. And yeah, the 64 stun threshold, I ended up using this because at the end of the day, I was like, I don't want to spend all my money just to find like a shitty belt. So I was rocking that. So yeah, for these boots, I found it in the middle of the campaign. So it's 12 increased armor and evasion, 46 max life, 34 max mana, 7 res. It's a little low on the res, but whatever. And 20 cold res. 4.3 life regen per second and 13 stun threshold. So definitely for the max life, max mana, and the double res, really important again. And I'm still rocking the fire charm. Whenever you get to Act 2 boss, if you have lightning charms, you can swap for the Act 2 boss. I would definitely do that. But this was my gear going in for the Act 2 boss, okay? So it wasn't really good, but my res were pretty good. So I was tanky enough to do the Act 2 boss and the Trial of Sekhmet, which I will post a video later on. All right, so the first thing that I do whenever he comes down, I hit him with hypothermia. If you're a fire source or lightning source, it doesn't really matter. Just hit him with a debuff right away of the elemental of your choice. In our case, because we're running Frozen Sorceress, we are going with hypothermia. So it's the first thing I do. Now for the rest of the fight, basically the fight is in two stage. The first stage, you're going to stay in this arena and then he's going to drag you to another arena. For this arena, you have to completely deplete him of a third of his life before you switch to the second round, basically. So you know about a third of the life is like basically your goal for the first step. So what you want to do is hitting with hypothermia and right away frost bomb. And frost bomb is where it's gonna help you getting his health down the most. So frost bomb, hypothermia, cold snap. Whenever he gets frozen, you use cold snap and you just spam flame wall and spark and you should have no problem. You just have to run around and try to avoid his attack. Now for the first part, what you'll notice is if you stand away from him, so the first part you really have to stay close. So you want to basically just run around him and not go away from him. If you go away, he'll like throw a lance at you or something, and this does a lot of damage and you like basically cannot dodge it unless you have massive evasion, which I'm a sorceress, I don't. So you always get the hit basically. If you stay really close to him, all he does is this like really basic electric attack. Well, I will show you right there. So as you can see here, I hit him with hypothermia and all I do is I run around him. Now, whenever he spawns those two spike, I don't even know how to call that, but these little spikes here, this is when you're basically allowed to get away from the fight and stop being close from him. These are kind of gonna chase you and stuff, so you kind of like still gotta start running around him. But he won't hit you with that lance that does a lot of damage. So whenever he spawns those spikes, you're kind of allowed to like take your distance, and whenever he stops doing it, then come back to him and do the same thing. If you geared up and got enough lightning resistance, you should be having no problem with this. So now I stay close and I just hit him with the bomb. And as you see, all he does is this basic lightning damage. He's like, roar! And it's just like a basic lightning damage. So there's nothing much happening. He might hit you with it, but it's not the damage is not as crazy as his other attacks. So you just stay close and that's all you do. And you spam him with hypothermia and ice bomb and sparks. Whenever he's frozen, this is the time where you can spam some frost bomb, but also use your cold snap. Your cold snap at that point should be doing 2k damage easily. Whenever this happened, remember you have to go to the girl that's helping you right now. You cannot survive the sandstorm, so don't be a hero. Just remember he's gonna spawn some minions and you can't really see them really well, so you just have to like kill them basically, but you can't really see them in the sensor. So sometimes I did die because I couldn't see where they were on me. So whenever this happened, he's basically bringing you to the second stage of the arena. This is where like things get a little bit more scary, but I promise it's really not that hard. You just have to take your time. Alright, so when they spawn you in there, there's gonna be a lot of things to avoid, and the main thing are the tornadoes. You definitely don't want to get into those. He's gonna have 2 special attack, which are these 2 ones. The one that he does a trail on the floor, that is a straight trail, and then the one that is like slicing you in a circle. All you do is you keep spamming spark, ice bomb, and flame wall whenever you can. At this point though, I remember at the end of the fight I was like kind of like lacking mana, so I was just trying to use mana drain whenever I needed it. Now whenever you see him lifting his sword in his back and about to slash you, if like I did a mistake myself, but basically if you dodge roll when you see him doing this, you're screwed, because when you finish your dodge roll, it's when he's gonna like slap it. So basically you have to dodge roll whenever you see him doing the animation of slashing. You will for sure like dodge it. But if you like see him do this and then you dodge roll right away, when you finish the dodge roll, he will hit you, and this can one-shot you, by the way. So you're gonna see here, he's gonna prep his attack. I hear him, and I just wait, and then I dodge. Then you will get to the 3rd stage, I would call it, is when... The 3rd stage is when these big portal appears. There's gonna be one on the right and one on the left. So basically you just want to stay in whatever area there's like it's free. You see it kind of like creates, it's dividing the arena in like 4 little triangles. You'll have more space on the left, so I would suggest you guys to go on the left, but sometimes the tornado do appear on you, so you have to go back up. So you see here I went back up and I go back and forward. You'll take damage going through the portal thingy, but if you have enough energy shield, you should be okay. It's just over here, the most important thing is to avoid the tornadoes, because there I almost died and I went through a tornado by accident. So the tornado is your biggest problem. Okay, so you just stay in either up corner or the left corner or whatever they give you space. So they always give you space on either or, and then at the end you're just keep spamming in and just avoiding things. The fight is just long. You're not that super powerful yet, but in Act 2 Cruel, when you get to that, it's so easy. Like, I'm telling you, Act 2 in normal is way harder than Cruel. Cruel difficulty is just easy. So in like this, you just beat him. That was pretty easy, and you can get the sweet loot. Hopefully he drops something good for you guys. I will post in a couple days the videos for the Trials Sigmas, because I would suggest to either you can beat the boss first and do the trials after, or you can do the trials first, ascend, and then go beat him. Me, I always try to ascend first and then beat him. But if ever you're stuck and it's getting a little harder and you need more levels before doing the trials, then you can do that as well. I hope this helped. Let me know down below if you have any question on the build or just the gear that I'm using. If I wasn't clear on certain things, let me know. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you on the next video.